In this video, the two Slipknot guitars go head to head, and at a glance they may seem very similar. Inline headstock, ebony fretboard, jumbo frets, mahogany body, single volume knob, and three-way switch with active pickups, and they both even come in white. But after playing both these guitars until my hands go numb, they're really chalk and cheese, and I'm going to show you why. So I will break the comparison down into 4 categories, and at the end of each category assign an advantage or an edge to the guitar that I would prefer, which is subjective, but I will try my best to deliver the information. The first category is recording. How well the guitar sits in a mix, how easy it is to get it into a mix, how it reacts in different amp settings, and in a controlled environment. The second topic is an overall guitar. This is jamming in your room, bringing it to band practice, versatile uses, different genres, changing tunings, etc. The third topic is a Slipknot guitar, which one sounds more like Slipknot. And the fourth topic is on stage as a live guitar. So first, let's go over some of the major differences, and depending on the situation, it will hold more or less weight. When looking at both guitars aesthetically, I think the Jazzmaster is more of a classic look. You have the classic Jazzmaster shape, the classic Fender headstock, the block inlays, and the cream bobbins on the pickups, where the Jackson is a very clean but pointy contemporary look. On Mick Thomson Soloist, you have a gloss finish on the back of the neck through construction, a thinner neck profile when compared to the Fender, 24 frets, block side dots, and a compound fretboard radius 12 to 16. On Jim Root's Jazzmaster, you have an oil or wax finish on the back of the neck, bolt-on construction, a moderate neck profile, lumen lay side dots, 22 frets, and a 12-inch fretboard radius all the way across. But I should mention that the American Stratocaster and American Jazzmaster that Jim Root has a compound fretboard radius. For pricing and options, the Jazzmaster only comes in one flavor with all these features. The V4, which is made in Mexico, retails for $1,400. There are a line of Jim Root guitars, a Telecaster that goes for $1,100, and then an American Stratocaster and Jazzmaster that go for $1,500. The Mick Thomson either comes in black or white, and comes in either the Pro Series, which goes for $900, or an American version that goes for $4,000. On the hardware side of things, for the Mick Thomson, you get a locking bridge and nut, which kind of give you a Floyd Rose kind of feel, but there's no tremolo, it just locks the strings down, and you get the micro tuners, compared to the fixed bridge on the Jim Root. But for tuning stability on the Jim Root, you get locking tuners. For strap buttons, the Jazzmaster comes with strap locks, where the Mick Thomson just has giant strap buttons. Obviously, they're different body shapes. The Jazzmaster is considerably more guitar compared to the Super Strat Soloist shape from metal guitar brand Jackson. I would say for weight, they're pretty similar in weight, and they both have atypical output jack placement, where this is directly on the bottom of the body of the guitar compared to the barrel jack for wrapping your cable around the massive strap button and into the guitar. Then there's the accoutrement that comes with these guitars. The Jazzmaster, despite being $500 more, comes with a hard shell case, an inspection paperwork, an Allen wrench set, and strap locks, and everything you would expect from getting a nice guitar from a world-class company. The Jackson, I bought brand new from a Guitar Center in Las Vegas, and it didn't come with anything, nothing, just peanuts. Not even this owner's manual and warranty that came with literally every single other one of my Jacksons. So if you have a Pro Series Mick Thomson Signature Soloist, let me know if it came with anything, because I'm a little salty about it. When it comes to headstocks and comparing the two, I do prefer a reverse headstock. I think the Fender would look a little goofy with one, but I love the aesthetic of the Jackson reverse headstock. The caveat is because the thickest string is the longest string after the nut, you get more sympathetic vibrations. So if you're muting with your hand or doing staccato, there's like a little kind of high-pitched ping afterwards. You can invest in a piece of foam and get it under the strings, or the Groove Gear fret wraps will eliminate it. But you just gotta be aware that that is a thing. I will demo what I mean just by using the mic camera and my amp setup. And of course, there's the pickups. Blackouts versus EMGs, which has been a huge debate for metal guitar players and active pickup enthusiasts alike way longer before these guitars existed, but we'll get to more of that later. Now on to our first topic of debate. Which one of these guitars is a better recording guitar? And what better way to do this than to do a recording? So here's a playthrough. Recording guitars, depending on your opinions and wants and needs, there's two camps. One camp is a jack of all trades, master of none, where it doesn't matter what you're running through or what you're playing, you need the guitar to sound good and push through whatever you got. Where the other camp is something very specific. If you're the kind of player who says amp A through cab A work for me and I can get whatever sound I need out of that, then I recommend kind of focusing in and honing that sound. I think the Jim Root is more of the jack of all trades kind of guitar, where the Mick Thomson is more of a very specific niche sound, but very good at doing that sound. Now I'm going to shut up and do a sound test of both sets of pickups. I'm going to do an amp test where I'll run both sets of pickups through 5 amplifiers through the Axe-Fx, then a clean and lead demo. Some notes about the pickups. I'm getting a similar amount of sustain from both of them. The EMGs are a little bit more compressed. I'm noticing I have to roll off the volume knob to keep it from breaking up. And the Mick Thomson has a separate battery cavity where the Jim Root does not for the active electronics. So in doing and mixing the playthrough, I found it a little harder to find a good sound for the Jim Root. But once I found that sound, I did prefer it over the Mick Thomson. But when I bought the Mick Thomson and I brought it home, I immediately plugged it into my 5150 rig. And because I didn't have another guitar like that, I set the EQ at noon, left the gain where it was, and it immediately sounded good. I turned on the Horizon Devices Precision Drive and it was a little bright for what I wanted the guitar to do, so I turned it off and I dimed the low end and it still sounded tight and it still sounded good, and that amazed me. So I was really excited and I plugged it into my Axe Effects and immediately started recording the playthrough that I did for the review demo of that guitar, and it immediately wrote itself. And because of that, I'm going to give the recording edge to the Mick Thomson. Now on to the second topic of debate: which one of these guitars is a better overall guitar? Looking at the Jim Root, the 22 frets become a much bigger deal because you don't have the full 2 octaves as a compositional tool. It is nice that it comes with a case so you can carry it to band practice. Then it's a little bit more comfortable to play because you don't have the harsh edges from the locking nut. And because you don't have the locking bridge, it's easier to change strings and change tunings. With the locking bridge, it's a Slipknot guitar, so if you keep it in drop B, you might be able to swing C-sharp standard if you bias one of the micro tuners, or if you bias all of them, you might be able to get away with drop C. But other than that, you're going to need some component removal or leave the locks off of the nut if you want to change tunings quickly. Then for the Jim Root, you have the pickups, which are based off of the 8160, which are a classic combination. So you could retune the guitar and play Death Clock or Metallica or Slayer or Zakk Wylde stuff or Children of Bodom or anything that has that classic EMG sound, and it nails it perfectly. And because of that, I'm going to give the overall guitar edge to the Jim Root Jazzmaster. Now on to the third topic of debate: which one sounds more like Slipknot? Obviously, they both sound exactly like Slipknot. It's what the guys play on stage. But if I had to pick one, I'd say it's the Mick Thomson. There's something characteristic about the low end, especially when you chug and kind of bounce on the first fret. If you lined up 10 pickup sets, I could tell you exactly which one are the signature Blackouts. And even when you play Jim's parts on the Mick Thomson guitar, it still sounds exactly like the album. And so I'm going to give the edge of the Slipknot guitar to the Mick Thomson. Now on to our last topic of debate: which one of these guitars is a better live and stage guitar? Looking at the Jim Root, you have the lumen-lay side dots, which glow in the dark so you can objectively see better on a dark stage. In my live experience, we're usually assigned a generic lighting person, and they do a good job, but they have no regard to if I can see my guitar or not, so having the lumen-lay helps a lot. Then there's the shape of the Jazzmaster, which I think looks pretty goofy against my body, but I'm already jumping and headbanging on stage, so I obviously don't care what I look like. Then on the Mick Thomson, let alone the 24 frets, you just have better fret access because of the neck-through construction. Then the pickups are significantly quieter, and you have the awesome headstock shape, which if a zombie apocalypse starts during the show, you know you're covered because that can impale anybody. But the big deal breaker with the Mick Thomson is the glossy finish on the neck. The first half of the show, when I'm nervously sweaty, I'm sticking and missing notes or whatever. Then the second half, when I transition from moist to wet, then I'm overshooting because everything's all slippery. And because of that, that's why the live and stage guitar edge goes to the Jim Root. So in conclusion, both guitars offer gut-busting metal machines. It just depends on your needs. I like them for specific reasons, and I'm really lucky to have both. So I've shared which ones I picked in certain situations. Which ones would you pick or picked? Let me know in the comment section. And that's it for this video. Please subscribe and like, and remember, nickels is money too, guys.